the difference between marketing and a company genuinely trying to make you addicted to a social media platform? Is there a difference?
I don't think so. I think that's just their business model. It's in their best interest to keep you on the platform. The same way it's in their best interest to keep you watching the movie, right? So they measure things in time on the app, average watch time, things like that. So this is all in their best interest.
Okay, but at what you sounded like you agreed with Chris.
I did agree.
You. Okay,
yeah.
At what point though, we talked about parents, and me and Karolina are on the same side here. But at what point should corporations take some sort of responsibility on this instead of just, oh, it's up to the consumer? But corporations are just making it harder for consumers all the time.
It's an unrealistic thing to expect a corporation whose
Why?
The only thing that it doesn't have its own personality. It doesn't have empathy for anything. It has only one purpose. It's to create money, cash flow.
Can't we put in policies to adjust that?
We just talked though to the streeters, like the people don't care. No one's going to stop using their phone because we had this conversation. If people stop using their phone, if people make a point of expressing this interest, then of course we can have change. But what I'm saying is, like, as long as everyone's opinion, like we just saw on the streeters, is like, oh yeah, I like the personalized content, it's pretty good.
Now, maybe I have a too idealistic approach to it, because in my opinion, my response to that is, well, how about just saving humanity and saving children from just complete ADHD from...
You do that on your own time, right? Like you can't expect the corporation to do that for you.
Okay, moving along, data collection. That's a big topic, right? Is why are corporations collecting data? Then they're using that data, they're selling it off to other people, but specifically they're using it to target us with ads. Does that have any role to play in creating an addictive nature amongst corporations? Karolina,
absolutely. I mean, one of the ways is that we were just talking previously, we don't know how to, stop, and we should control ourselves, but we also are forgetting that most of these decisions are subconscious. You don't even know when you are being influenced, even on a very minute level. Like I could say something to my friend and she will be swayed to make a decision later on in the day because I said something earlier.
And on that point, when it comes down to elections, right? Social media. So what we're saying then is that, oh, it's okay. Corporations can influence however they want. So now they can go on and start influencing elections?
They've already been doing that, and
that's not okay, is it?
I mean, mainstream media is no better. We have so when there was one voice and it was, the CBC or whatever, same thing. It was whoever was funding that was controlling the narrative.
Yeah, I think we just need to be, more aware that we're moving further away from before you were able to pick what social media you wanted to look at. I don't want to watch the news. They're too politically charged, sway me in one direction or the other. I'm going to actually choose what I look at. But now I'm choosing to look at something, and now it's being intercepted with the same thing.
Yep.
So I think just building awareness of that in itself is an important topic.
I can agree with that. And I think if there's a common ground, we're not even on segment 4 yet, but if there's a common ground we can come to is just building awareness around the subject and saying to kids and parents, hey, this is happening, so you should be a little bit more cognizant about just handing your kid the iPad when they're screaming and crying. Although I know some parents might get triggered by that because I can imagine how hard it is. I have an interesting point here. Human trafficking, okay? That seems like it's
interesting.
Like, whoa. That's illegal, right? Because we recognize it as immoral. So why do we think that it's legal to sell the behavioral identities of each individual? Is there any correlation there?
To sell the behavioral identities of each individual, right? Like how a corporation would sell all that information they have on you to...
Is it any different?
I mean, yes.
I think we just have a very blurred line of morality. There's a lot of immoral things, such as selling alcohol to alcoholics, such as selling weed products to people who are addicted to weed. Those are immoral things. We can all agree that further reinforces their addictions, but are they still done? Sure. That's just how we work. So let's talk about what policies can we change. Go out and vote whoever aligns better with your policies, right? This is why we have a democracy, and I think why it's important.
Chris, real quick, should the government do anything about this? I think you can see where it could get to, right?
I understand. I think that it starts with us, though. It starts with us actually voting with our time, being more cognizant. Yeah, having a conversation with yourself about hey, listen, if I'm checking my phone every 5 minutes, let's try to push for 10 or 15 minutes, or let's put the phone away for an hour, or whatever it is. It's you have to kind of control it first. And then I think these platforms will adapt, or there's going to be policy brought in. TikTok being banned is always on the table. And
I don't know if government or policy can change anything. I think it is us and our cash and our time. And I don't think there's enough unity or strength as a whole to be able to make that difference.
Well, hopefully doing a show like this, us talking about it, we're making an effort. When we come back, how should we as consumers respond to limbic capitalism, and what can we do about it on Chris's point?
I'ma rule the world, yeah.